Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Fine, my senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And holy smokes, I was up so early this morning, I was lying on my right side, getting close to 6 o'clock. And I must have gotten too warm, because all of a sudden, while laying on my side, the muscles on my inner right thigh went, you know what, let's cramp. And I immediately flipped over onto my back and started pushing my fingers hard into that muscle. And it let go after a time. It didn't fully cramp, it was getting ready to. But and then I quickly threw off my blankets and got everything ready so that I could get up. Because once I'm vertical, I'm good. Those first 5 seconds after becoming vertical are dangerous, though. The effort of getting out of bed stressed those muscles. And the moment I got upright, from my right inner thigh all the way up at the hip, down to my toe, cramp. Luckily, I was able to work it out, but oh boy. So thumbs up for that. But not all is terrible. Here is our south of the American border squashmallow friend, Ernesto. And how can the world be bad when there are creatures like Ernesto in them? I just wanted to bring that off in the background. Also, our smoke alarms have been going off like crazy again lately. And it has been suggested that we get some compressed air junk and blow them out ourselves. Well, I got the compressed air junk. I don't have a stepladder that's here, but I am an idiot. So I have crawled up on various other things that I have that I shouldn't, like the top of a metal waste basket. And this time, I just got my feet underneath the mattress on my bed and the metal framework of the frame, and got up there and blew the ever-living snot out of it. So here's hoping that does the trick. Because it's no fun at 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, and 4 having the fire alarm going off when you're trying to sleep. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, let's see. I don't have a ton of stuff written down. I have not had a ton of stuff to actually do. I've mentioned before that pain is exhausting, and I have not been able to think or do much because of all the exhaustion from pain, but I've been doing my level best. I will say this, because it's not written down. Yesterday, I used as the secret word heel cups at the end of the video. This morning, I put the heel cups into my boot. Plural. I can feel them. They feel weird. I mean, because it's normal foot and then it's raised up at the very back. So that feels different and weird. But it has been slightly easier to walk. So that's good right there. I'm just worried that they're going to fall apart pretty quickly. They're kind of a silicone material, so I gotta check in on them and find out where to get replacements. These ones were given to me as samples from the doctor, so thumbs up for that. Anyway, the rest of the stuff that I've gotten written down is there's a bunch of small little video game things that I want to talk about. Number one, I'm trying to play the game Seal of Evil. It is a game set in like a not 1,000 years ago, a couple hundred years ago, maybe 1,000 years ago in China, in the Qin Dynasty time. And it's an interesting action RPG thing, but I stopped playing it this morning because I just got so tired. Because I was reading a guide, trying to find out where my house was. I was start to swear there. where my house was in the game, because it's hard to find. It's an older game. But then looking through the guide, there are each day a whole list of quests that you can get, side quests, and if you don't do them, they're gone forever. And I just felt so tired reading that I stopped playing the game. Which, as a quick aside, I wanted to talk about this. I got all that up there. I have gone to the site DeviantArt in the past because it's had some really cool art. And now it's nothing but AI slop. And the big thing about that is, you may have noticed it yourself, it's been talked about, everything becomes homogeneous. Everything looks the same. If it's people, they're all in the center of the picture in roughly the same pose, just endless variations of the same thing. There used to be amazing bits of art there, fantastic fantasy landscapes and portraits and all sorts of amazing stuff, as well as goofy stuff and fetish stuff. I mean, it's everything there. But now it's just AI slop. I get so tired. Like, you'll find an interesting picture, so you'll click on the artist, and you'll find out that they've been there for a month, and they have 22,000 pictures uploaded. I just feel exhausted when I look at that and shut it all down. Life is life. Anyway, though, Seal of Evil. Yeah, I got really tired when I was doing that. It's a good game. I enjoy it. But, which reminds me of another game that I also have from ages back and on Steam somehow. It's called Prince of Qin. And it's another one of those, takes place in the Qin dynasty. There's fantasy elements. You're fighting like tigerfish in the very beginning, and they can kill you, but they're just amphibious type fish. And you're also dealing with political intrigue. So, thumbs up. That's a good game, but I haven't played that one for a while. Just thought I'd mention it. Ultra Cop, the game, has had a lot of patches to it. This is from the guy who's made the game like Carnal, which was like 99 cents, and you should get it. I can't remember what the name of the guy is that does it, but it's like 99 cents, Carnal, and he also does, if you get to that game, Ultra Cop. And I think Ultra Cop is under $3. It's hard, but it's fun. He has nerfed some of the things because it was way too hard. He's going to be introducing difficulty, it's not a slider, but choices, so that you don't have to choose to be destroyed every time. I've seen people play it online and just ace it first time. They go, oh, here's a game, let's load it up. And they go and they win. And I go through and I get destroyed. So that's joyous. But you should check out that person, as well as look up DOSman for their games. But Rising World, ages back, I used to play a lot of Rising World for the channel. And they had the Java version. But they had good reason to stop doing the Java version. There was word that the graphics, how it looked and such, just really turned people off. And so for like past 9 years or something, they've been working on the Unity version of it. And they've had some great new changes. And only now, with my new computer, am I actually able to play well the new version, the Unity version. On my Alienware laptop, where the wireless adapter died, and so it's an isolated machine, it kind of barely ran. If you really brought the visible range in and brought all the graphic settings down, it could kind of be played. The previous laptop that I had here would not do it at all. Slideshow. Now it plays well. Only he's made some well, I say he, could be they, I can't remember. They've made some changes to the game that good and bad, in my view. It takes forever to chop down some trees now. It used to be like 10, 15 chops and you could chop a tree down and then you whacked it into logs. Now I've sat there just waiting while the axe hits a tree like 30 some odd times before it falls over is chopped. And the big problem of that is these introduced durability. So your primitive axe that you start with is going to run out fast. So you need to chop down a tree and get sticks, and you need to break a rock fast so you can make more primitive axes. Because if that primitive axe goes, you're stuck. You need sticks and rocks to make an axe. I have found one bunch of loose branches in the 3 games that I've tried using the new version. Every other time, nothing unless you chop down a tree with your axe, and if you don't do that fast, you're going to lose your axe and then you're done because you can't do anything else. So I'm not incredibly thrilled with that. And then there's unlockables. It used to be the entirety of the crafting was open. Well, now there's only 1 or 2 things, and they open up as you start building and making things. So some of it is old man yells at clouds. I don't like some of the changes, like with the durability and all that. Other things are just, I just need to get used to them. So, but you need to make sticks much more available. And this one annoyed the snot out of me. You need to eat food. And you can either kill animals or you can grab plants and then you can either eat the plants or convert them to seeds and plant the seeds. In the previous version, you can turn off vegetation, which turns off the grass so you can see. So this one has an option for turn off vegetation. I turned off vegetation. It kept the grass, but it got rid of everything else. There were no trees, there were no plants to eat, there was nothing but grass. Why even make an option that's pointless? I don't know. So I had to, immediately after creating that world, had to just immediately delete that world because there's nothing to do in it. Why even? But that's me. So anyway, last thing, checking see if I can see how long I've been doing this, and I've got my camera with the camera software behind it so I can make sure I'm centered. This is something I've talked about before, but also going off further. You don't see bands a lot anymore. You find individual artists because the RIAA, Recording Industry Artists of America, the companies that make the money, not the actual artists, they have found it's cheaper and easier to just, if you have one artist who's the singer or whatever, to just hire everybody else to do everything else, drums and guitar and bass and whatever, and then engineering while you're just alone by yourself and you do what's done. And then that's done. That's the way it is today. And I understand that. Because a person who's from the industry was talking about this. And one of the good things is people don't work well together. We really don't. Even though we do. In bands, if you've ever seen behind the scenes stuff like older bands like The Police from the 1980s and all, they're yelling and swearing at each other. Just, why can't you do this right? So you've got friction that just brings everything to a halt because you've got bands. Except you lose out on one huge thing by just having a bunch of hired people helping out the one creative artist. Collaboration. So many iconic songs, and I can't list them for you because I can't remember because I have ADHD brain. But so many groups have so many songs that were made because one band member was just playing around with the guitar. Had a little tune that they had come up with, and they were just playing with it. Didn't think they were going to do anything with it. They were just playing around. And one of the other people said, "That sounds good. We need to do something with that. You should work with that." And then it turned into a song that became mega popular. We don't have that anymore because there's no band people just playing an idle tune while you've got the rest of the band doing stuff or setting up so that they can listen to each other. So I think while it's gotten easier and cheaper, it's certainly got a lot less richer. But then that's the way it is going in the world, where things are, becoming just good enough. I heard as an explanation why Disney was doing these live action remakes using horrible CGI to replace these beautifully done 2D hand-drawn movies is because when they show or sell the beautiful hand-drawn movies, they have to pay residuals to the animators. But with the 3D computer remakes, there's nobody they have to pay when those go out. Yay! Anyway, those or anything else I've got written down. Not up on my list. I have been doing my best to be as creative as possible. I have not had the energy to play any of my solo RPG or board games lately. I have just been exhausted because of my heel. It has been in the past before my heel, even living here, my heel before that, it would be 1 o'clock before I got to bed because I was just so wired. Now, I have trouble making it past 11 o'clock because all my energy is being used up by pain response. Again, it doesn't even have to be a conscious thing. It's stuff that your body is doing because it hurts. And that's, even right now, there is pain response stuff going on inside of my body, even though I'm just sitting here and talking, because my foot hurts. And that uses up energy. Your brain uses 20% of all of the energy that you intake. If you start cutting down on that by having a pain response, you got brain pain response, there is a shrinking amount here left for just body and maintenance. Thumbs up. That's just a physical thing. I'm doing my very, very best to be as positive about all this as possible. I am still getting older. I am at the point where I need medications to help keep my body running well, if not well as in it's actually running. So there's awful stuff. But you know what? That's all part of being human too. Thumbs up. Which, last thing, I'm going to talk about this again because it ties in with this, getting older, intrusive thoughts and thinking about mortality and death while lying in bed. It's hard to stay centered on things. All of life is like, if you've ever seen the pole where a person can spin a plate on top of it and it'll rotate and balance. And as long as you keep it spinning, it will rotate in perfect balance on top of the pole. That's what all of life is. Only you have enough ability to take care of 6 of these things properly. Only you got about 18 of them that you have to maintain to have a good life. So you can either focus on a couple of these while all the rest of the plates fall down, in which case you're a very unbalanced person, or you can try and keep them all spinning work over here, and once they're spinning, go over to these ones, and they're starting to fail, so get those spinning, and then come over here and get those spinning. And I can't remember what I was talking about anymore because I have ADHD brain. Getting older, thoughts of mortality, I remember that much. Ah, yes, and being centered. Because of the game Wobble Dogs that helped get something set in my head. I had already been playing with it with my cryptid world setting on my fiction stuff. But I remember one of my beginning Wobble Dogs because of the way they acted, and then they died. All of your Wobble Dogs will die. And Wobble Dogs are just weird dog things in this game, and you try and raise them and breed them and take care of them. And then when they reach the end of life, they die. And you have the option to turn death off for the Wobble Dogs. Only if I had done that, so that they didn't die and I just had to empty out the screen every once in a while, I wouldn't remember the Wobble Dog howl and how that dog hated to be petted. I wouldn't remember that. That'd be just another Wobble Dog. But because they live and then they die, I remember howl because of that. If you don't have an end, the beginning and the middle means nothing. And as much as I hate the idea of coming to an end of myself, without it, the beginning and the middle mean nothing. So as long as I keep that plate spinning, I can understand and be accepting of the fact that, yeah, I'll be kicking off here at some point. I don't like to think of non-existence, but after you die, you don't have to worry about it anymore. There ain't nothing to process things with. So, yeah, my Wobble Dogs helped me to come to terms with things, which I had already come to terms with of sorts with my cryptid setting stuff. Because remember, in my fiction setting, in the cryptid world, there are no happy stories. There are no happy endings. There's happy stories. There's no happy endings. Unlike other stories where people come through the wood chipper in a Hallmark movie moment in the cryptid world, when they go through the wood chipper of life, they come out the other end broken, bleeding, and crawling, trying to find a hole in the ground where they can crawl in, get away from the rain, and lick their wounds in the darkness until the end. There are no happy endings in the cryptid world. Thumbs up. And hey, if you could, I say, toward the end of the video with the call to action, like, comment, share, subscribe, making sure to share only with people. Hey, and if you know anyone that would like to see this, share only with people that would like to watch an old man yammer on incomprehensibly about thoroughly subjects. Very cool. Very awesome. If you're a patron, you are beautiful and awesome. When you look in the mirror, be assured of that. Without your help, I would be here and I'd be okay, but much, much more hurting. Instead, I'm up here. And oh my gosh, that helps so much. Thank you. For everybody that leaves me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart each one that YouTube allows. And I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me. So thumbs up, thank you so very, very much. And hey, I'm going to spend the rest of my day editing, rendering, uploading. I'm going to take care of myself physically and mentally. I haven't been out walkies yet. With my heel, I can only walk so far. But I'm going to keep doing what I can. I got to keep my heart healthy. I got to keep exercising. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get, and if not, please do not beat yourself up. It does not help, and you deserve better. So, until we meet again, oh gosh, golly gee whiz, I meant to do this too now that I'm really at the end. If you could type Spray X into the comments to let the YouTube algorithm and me know that people actually do watch these videos. It is not required. I could not force you even if I wanted to. But if you do, that'd be kind of cool. I think it's fun to just interactive sort of things. Plus, it's blatant engagement farming, so thumbs up on that. Anyway, you take care. Ernesto says goodbye. I'll hold on to Ernesto like this. Ernesto says goodbye. So, yeah, you take care. I'll talk to y'all later. Now you have to press this button. I could just, like, edit all this where you wouldn't see me reach over and edit and all that and hit the close button. But where's the fun in that?